Yes. So, as I discussed that yesterday, that we will be discussing 2024 CSAT paper, and the purpose of discussing this paper is that particularly I will be dealing with comprehension and passage, because I believe that it has helped me and I want to share certain things, tricks, or how to basically approach a comprehension and passage. I am not an expert of CSAT, but definitely on the basis of the way I have handled my CSAT, particularly comprehension and passage, that yielded a positive result for me. So in that category, I want, this is more to help the student on the basis of the experience I have. And live we will be discussing the questions paper. I'll ask you to read the question. Yesterday I have already told you. I don't know how many of you have gone through 2024 paper. So read it, and you'll also come to know how fast I should solve and basically how to approach it. Okay. So we'll start here. This is A, right? So you'll see that how well you can score. At least your comprehension passage portion should be really well. To strengthen the comprehension passage, I had many times repeatedly told, read newspaper, isn't it? Because when you read newspaper, there are a lot of things. Not only you are getting updated, your vocabulary improves, your speed improves, your comprehension skill improves. Because see, books you will be reading every day, isn't it? Suppose you are reading Lakshmikant, you will be revising it. You will be revising it so many times, isn't it? So you will not be able to know what is your speed by reading a newspaper, because today you might be slow. Tomorrow you read the same material little more fast. You will be able to understand, isn't it? Again after 2-3 days you read again. This will go and improve it because you are revising the same thing again and again. So definitely you cannot gauge your speed of reading and comprehension skill by reading textbook, because that textbook you will be reading again and again. But newspaper, everything it is new, right? Every day it is new. So you are reading every day new thing. That will decide how much speed do you have, and how much accuracy level you have, and how well you are comprehending an article, because every day you are reading something new article. Of course, over the period of time you build the base. Suppose now the West Asia is highly disturbed, particularly after US and Israel striking Iran. And if I know the base, I can still read the newspaper very fast and I'll also comprehend it fast. But this nature of, or the habit of reading the newspaper has improved my speed and also improved my comprehension skill. That is going to really help in the CSAT paper. So here is the passage. Here live we will try to solve it and we'll see how well you are solving the paper. So read the first passage. Read the first passage and I'll give you 1 minute. I will give you 1 minute to read the passage. So according to Food and Agriculture Organization, 1/3 of the food produced for human consumption is lost globally. Food is lost or wasted throughout the supply chain from the initial agriculture production to final household consumption. The increasing wastage also result in land degradation by about 45%, mainly due to deforestation, unsustainable agriculture practices, and excessive groundwater extraction. The energy spent over the wasted food result in about 3.5 billion tons of carbon dioxide production every year. Decay also leads to harmful emission of other gases in the atmosphere. Addressing the loss and wastage of food in all forms is critical to complete the cycle of food sufficiency and food sustainability. Okay. So, which of the following statement best reflects the most logical and rational inferences that can be made from the passage? So, you see these words logical and rational, these are technical things will be taught in the class, the CSAT class, okay. But without even going, you don't know anything technical. You have just read the passage. In your class 10th also you would have done your right. In your school days you would have done comprehension passage, isn't it? On the basis you have to choose the correct option. There you used to write the answer, here you have to, the answer is there, you have to choose it, isn't it? The current method of food distribution are solely responsible for the loss and wastage of food. Land productivity is adversely affected by prevailing trend of food loss and wastage. So please remember this. 1, 2, then you have to go 3. Reduction in the loss and wastage of food result in lesser carbon footprint. Post-harvest technologies to prevent or reduce the loss and wastage of food are not available. So what is the answer here? See, the first point is that current method of foods distribution are solely responsible. Second, land productivity is adversely affected by the prevailing trend of food loss and wastage. Number 2. Number 3, it is saying that reduction in loss and wastage of food result in lesser carbon footprint. Post-harvest technology to prevent or reduce the loss of wastage of food are not available. Got the point? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's difficult to show exactly all the 4 points here. I hope you got it. So you tell me what is the answer on the basis of the what you have understood. Huh? Tell me the answer. A, B, C, D. B. D for Delhi. Huh? D. Both of you D. D is 1, 2, 4. Okay. So let me tell you the correct answer is B. Why not D? I'll tell you why, so that you correct it. See, what is the logical inferences you will draw? From this, what logical and rational inferences you are drawing? Very simple, the first one it is wrong. Solely it is not there, okay. There is no case of solely. Current method of food distribution are solely responsible for loss and wastage of food. Solely word is nowhere. Solely means only. So anyway, that is wrong. Okay, land productivity, yes, we have studied this. Land productivity adversely affected by the prevailing trend of loss and wastage, because unnecessary carbon dioxide will increase in the atmosphere, and also more ground water is being extracted unnecessarily. So yes, this statement is correct. Okay, so the second statement is correct. Now come to the third statement. Third statement anyway it is wrong. Reduction in loss and wastage of food Acha, sorry, right. Reduction in loss and wastage of food result in lesser carbon. If it is increasing, then it will increase the carbon. So this 2 and 3 is to correct from the passage itself. It is the fourth one. Yes, some of you will have the kind of doubt in the fourth one. The post harvest technology to reduce the loss and wastage are not available. Where you have read it not available in the passage? Is it talking anywhere in the passage that it is not available? So this statement is wrong. Are you getting my point, all of you? Nowhere it is saying that there is no technology available. It is saying in the passage? No. It is talking about carbon dioxide, because the current way the food is wasted, carbon dioxide is increasing, and also it is land degradation. These 2 points are already there. So sometime, you know what, you read the passage, then read the question and option. If you are finding it difficult, again read the passage fast. And by practice, you will be able to mark more number of correct. I am telling you, with practice. So you see, first one you knew that it is not there because solely it is mentioned. It is not the sole reason that because of that only the land food wastage is happening. That is not the sole reason. We knew that. First statement we marked it wrong, but the problem happened for the fourth statement. Second and third, yes, looks to be very logical and reasonable because it is there in the passage. The fourth statement, nowhere in this it has mentioned that technology is not available. Isn't it or not? In the passage, is it mentioned? It is not mentioned. So the fourth statement is also wrong. So what is correct answer? 2 and 3. I'll put it in a simple, this one is a simple one. Some will see little more confusing, but this one I'll put it in a simple category, that you should all, yes, of course, fourth point for some people, they may be confusing, but this is what, when you practice here, you will know how to eliminate the wrong option. It requires practice. For some, fourth point can be confusing. So the answer is B, 2 and 3. Done? Now look at the second question. Look at the passage number 2. Read it fast. I'll give you again just 2 minutes. Huh? Which? No, this is second, one more question. Okay, from passage 1. 1 minute. Okay, sorry. Second question. Based on the above passage, the following assumption have been made. Tell me, what is the answer? The food distribution mechanism need to be reimagined and made effective to reduce the loss and wastage of food. Second is, ensuring the reduction of wastage and loss of food is a social and moral responsibility of all citizens. What is the answer? Yes, Arvind, tell me. Huh? Tejas, according to you, what is the answer? You read it the first, right? See, you have to increase the speed, Baba. You have to increase. You have to increase your efficiency. Otherwise, you will be left behind. Efficiency, practice. Just like, maths. You practice maths, right? To increase your speed. Either comprehension, passage, everything. You need speed. Speed and accuracy both is required. Very simple. This one, I think it is very simple. The food distribution need to be reimagined and made effective to reduce the loss, correct? Ensuring the reduction of wastage and loss of food is a social and moral responsibility of all the citizens. So, because they are asking the assumption, what is the assumption of this? The assumption is that yes, everybody should be responsible and they should not waste the food. First one was, what is the logical inference from the passage? Second is talking about the, what is the assumption? So, assumption is correct or not? Both the assumption correct. So, answer should be C. This one also I'll put it in a simple category. So your first passage is very simple. 2 points you have secured. Okay, 5 marks you have secured. How many of you have gone through the paper? Yesterday I told you. Any one of you have read and come? No? Good. If you have not read it, then we'll come to know exactly how we are doing here. So read it. I'll give you 2 minutes. Done? As inflation rises, even governments previously committed to budget discipline are spending freely to help household. Higher interest rates announced by the central banks are supposed to help produce modest fiscal austerity. Because to maintain stable debts while paying more to borrow, government must cut spendings or raise taxes. Without the fiscal backup, monetary policy eventually loses traction. Higher interest rate become inflationary, not disinflationary, because they simply lead to governments to borrow more to pay the rising debt service cost. The risk of monetary unmooring is greater when public debt rises, because interest rates become more important to budget deficit. The risk of monetary unmooring is greater when public debt rises. And now unmooring also meaning you should understand. But anyway, if you read the sentence, you will understand the meaning. Even if you don't know the particular word meaning, many time by reading at the sentence and all, you will understand. The risk of monetary unmooring is greater when public debt rises, because interest rates become more important to budget deficits. Okay, many a time, no need to understand as exactly. Somewhere you should have the idea, okay, because in 1 or 2 minutes, sometimes the passage is very complex. The first one was little easy to understand. This is little, I mean, if you know the economics, you will understand well. It's not an issue, but little technical words they have used it. No need to think much about it. Now come to the options. Then you will try to answer. You understand public policy, monetary policy, public policy. I hope you understand all these things. What happened, bhai? Which of the following statement best reflects the most logical and rational inferences that can be made from the passage? Central banks cannot bring down inflation without budgetary backing, number 1. Number 2, the effects of monetary policy depend on the fiscal policy pursued by the government. Now you tell me, both this, Answer is, why 2 only? Both. See, what central banks cannot bring down, what is the inferences? See, the question is what they are saying, that higher interest rate announced by the central banks are supposed to be help produce modest fiscal austerity, because to maintain stable debts while paying more to borrow, government, then here you see they are talking fiscal policy, you know, central bank, you know, the RBI, isn't it? RBI. And government means fiscal policy, RBI monetary policy, they are saying, right? Because to maintain stable debt while paying more to borrow, government must cut spendings or raise taxes. Without fiscal backup, monetary policy eventually loses traction. Because if the government is not supporting the RBI, means both, you know, the fiscal policy and monetary policy, they should be in alignment. Otherwise, what will happen? Problems. Are you getting my point? So that's why the statement, the second one you understood, right? Second one is very easy. Central bank cannot bring down inflation without budgetary backing. That's true. While reading the comprehension passage, I mean that passage, we understood without fiscal policy or without government backup, monetary policy alone cannot bring effective change, cannot control the inflation really well. You know it from the economics also. Okay. And that is what it is written. The second one is so very, very clear. The effects of monetary policy depend on the fiscal policy pursued by the government. So both the statement is correct. The central banks cannot bring down inflation without, I know, see, this point is also looks like little confusing, because we know that monetary policy main aim is to bring down the inflation. We know that. To some extent they can do, but it cannot be very effective if the fiscal policy is also not backing the monetary policy, right? And that is what it is also talked in the passage. So that is what the inferences we can draw. Got it? So I know, see, that is what you have to really practice well. It is confusing. Comprehension passage is also not that easy. But when you practice, then you will come to know. You will make less number of mistake. So yes, this statement I agree that it is little confusing. This one, so yes, we know it is correct as per it is saying. It is saying the central bank cannot bring down the inflation without budgetary backing. To some extent they can bring, but if they have to be really effective, fiscal policy needs to back the monetary policy. Okay. So this is what I am discussing as per the UPSC answers. Answer is C. So you should know, if I am marking B, why is the answer C? What they want me to basically, the what way they want me to solve. So you have to study it really from that perspective. Okay. I agree that this is little confusing. Okay, the next one, fourth one. Based on the above passage, the following assumption have been made. Fiscal policy of governments are solely responsible for higher prices. Solely responsible. What is it the statement correct? Wrong. Solely means it will come mostly 90% it should be wrong only. Higher prices do not affect the long-term government bonds. What do you say? So as per you, what should be the answer? Huh? Answer should be, this is the wrong. Higher price do not affect the long term. So I think logical, isn't it? Both the statements are logical. What is the answer? Should be D. So this is, I think, very simple. The first one little confusing because it is saying, you know, cannot. So somebody, they may get confused. cannot, it is not like that. It can, but not very effective. But when you read the passage, what is the meaning associated with passage? The meaning associated with passage that the central bank is not effective basically in reducing the inflation if it is not backed by the fiscal policy. So answer is D. I think it's easy. So you will see that with this way, if you practice, I am sure you will get more hold over the comprehension passage. And out of 25 questions or 35, I think if 30 questions are there, 25 you should surely mark it correct. If 30 questions are there, at least 25 you should mark it correct, 5 wrong, and then another 5 you will make wrong in maths and LR. LR, I think accuracy rate is more high in LR, what I believe. You try it, solve, you will come to know, okay, I solved 25 question of LR, how many I made it correct. Comprehension passage, I solved 30 question, how many I made correct. Do it separately, then you will come to know where is the accuracy. And then you solve also maths one individually, then you will come to know which one I am performing better. Question number 11. Okay, read this passage. So because I have myself solved this paper first, and I will tell you my score also, how much I was getting. You want to increase the size? With this we can increase, right? Is it okay? Today, if we consider cities such as New York, London and Paris are some of the most iconic cities in the world, it is because plans carrying a heavy system approach were imposed on their precincts. The backbone of the system theory is process of translating social, spatial and cultural desirables into mathematical models using computing, statistics, optimization and an algorithmic way of formulating and solving problems. The early universities of the West, which began to train professionals in planning, spawned some of the most ingenious planners who were expert in their domains. This was because these very subjects were absorbed into the planning curriculum that had its roots in the social sciences, geography and architecture. Planning in India and its education differ from the West. So what does the passage is talking about? Basically planning, right? Planning of the cities and all, isn't it? So look at so you should know the crux of the topic really well. Which one of the following statement best reflect the most logical rational inferences that can be made from the above passage? Curriculum for urban planning courses should have diverse and interdisciplinary approach. A. B. In India, city administration is under bureaucracy which lacks formal training in urban planning and management. B. C. In India, the management of urban areas in a local affairs with a chronic problem is problem of insufficient funds. D. With higher density of population and widespread poverty in our urban area, planned development in them is very difficult. Now you see, what is the answer? Now you can see in one page, isn't it? Huh? A. A. Why not B? Good, good. So answer is A. Very simple. I think this is bit simple because see, they have no, it's little bit here they have talked about the planning in India and its education differ from West. Otherwise, they have not talked much about India, isn't it? They have talked about planning and curriculum. So basically, the crux is that planning should become part of the curriculum, isn't it? It should become part of the curriculum itself. Let the student, they should start early in their education about the plannings and all. So that is what very rationally is the curriculum of urban planning courses should have diverse and interdisciplinary approach, because every city, every has a very different differences is there because of the rooted in social sciences, geography and architecture. It will be different. Society will be different, geography can be different. So the curriculum of planning should have what? Diverse approach, isn't it? And it should be planned. Of course, a city should be planned, but it cannot be what New York and what Paris they are doing. In the same manner, we cannot plan in India. That's why, you see Chandigarh, who planned it? The French person, Le Corbusier. Who planned Delhi? The Lutyens. Who was he? Britisher. So you see, those people, they came and planned for India. So that is why Chandigarh, okay, we say it is a fully planned city and all, it's a modern city. It was done much later than it was done, Delhi. So I have not visited Chandigarh, so I can't say much about it. But Delhi, I have seen, at the few, it's a very lopsided development. Some part it is so neat and clean and well managed, but most of the Delhi, you can say many part of the Delhi, they have the slums like of kind of thing, very congested. So that is not called planning. You only planned well where the Raja will live, those Rajas and the rulers. Where you planned so well. So much of space, so much of greenery. Rashtrapati Bhavan, you see, oh my God, so much. Said that so much of area is there. Oh my God, huge area. Encroached by the presidential palace. It is encroached, we'll say. And major part of Delhi is very congested, very, very congested. So you have planned as per the benefit, not for the people, but for the ruling class, isn't it? So that's why it should be rooted in geography, architecture, social science and all. So the thing is that planning, first of all, should become part of the curriculum. Secondly, it should be interdisciplinary and diverse approach. That is what we come to know from the passage, isn't it? Impose the backbone of system theory is process of translating social, spatial and cultural desirables into mathematical models using computing. There are a lot of things. Don't crux. You understand the crux. The lot of technical things is used in the paragraph, but you have to understand what? The crux. What is the crux and meaning of the passage? You read the options. If you don't understand, again read it once, and then I think you will be able to solve. So now you are coming to know that passage, I don't have to go line by line and too much. I have to understand basically the feel of passage. Summary, the crux, what it is trying to say, what it is trying to convey. That is what. It's not like word to word you have to understand. So that is the reason you have to go very fast. The next one you see, based on the above passage, the following assumptions have been made. India needs a new generation of urban professionals with knowledge relevant to modern urban practice. Secondly, the second option, the statement number 2 is, Indian university at present have no capacity or potential to impart training in the system approach. Now tell me what is the answer. What is the answer? Huh? A, B, C, D. It's not visible for you. Is it now visible? Tell me the answer. Yes, please tell me the answer fast. Come on, be fast. A. You guys? Huh? D for Delhi. D for Delhi. D for Delhi. D for Delhi. A. So answer is A. See, India needs a new generation of urban professionals with knowledge relevant to modern urban practice. That is what the assumption it is saying. Though it is saying planning in India and its education differ from the West. What is the assumption? The assumption is that India need. But this one, it is wrong. Indian university at present have no capacity and potential. It is not like that. We do have the capacity. The problem is that there is lack of proper implementation. Indian universities, they do have the potential, they do have the capacity. We are not utilizing, that's a different thing. But they have lot of potential and they have the capacities as well. So the second statement is wrong, but the first statement is that India needs a new generation of urban professionals with knowledge relevant to modern urban practices in planning, isn't it? They should have a good curriculum and planning, and we need a good professionals so that our also city is well planned and as per our requirement. So the answer is A. Got the point? What is the assumptions and all? So this is how you will work on the what you believe is the correct answer and what is the correct answer. You will know the pattern, and slowly you will be able to perform well. Look at the second passage. You read it here and then we'll go for the second one. Second part. Not every voice on the internet commands the same kind of audience. When anonymous private entities with high capital can pay for more space for their opinions, they are effectively buying a louder voice. If political discourse in the digital sphere is a matter of outshining one's opponent till the election is won, then the quality of politics suffer. The focus of social media is restricted to the promotions of content that generates more user agreement regardless of how inflammatory the content may be. I think it's very simple to understand, but anyway, first try to answer the question. Which one of the following statement best reflects the central idea of the above passage? What is the answer? Constructed as a marketplace of view, social media ensures instant access to information. B is social media are not ideal or moral institutions but the product built by companies to make profits. C, social media have been created to strengthen democracy. In today's world, social media are inevitable for well-informed social life. Now you tell me the answer. As per you, what is the answer, and then we'll discuss the option. What do you see? What do you feel? Arvind? A, B or C? One. See, what is the central idea of the above passage? They are asking the central idea. What it is basically based on. Strengthen, social media have been created to strengthen democracy. It is not talking anywhere. It is not talking anywhere. So, C is basically eliminated. The passage is not talking that it is for democracy and all. Though it should be used for democracy, but that is not talking, the passage is not talking about that. In today's world, social media are inevitable for well-informed social life. That is also, it is not talking. Now you have the confusion between these two, I believe. Okay, constructed as a marketplace, because it is what talking in terms of used by the richer people. You know, richer people, they can buy media. They can buy media or not, and they can create a kind of an voice which seems to be true, but actually it is not true. Like Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been made Pappu by the media, isn't it? Because the media has been bought. Media has been bought. Like, see, everybody makes some wrong, sometimes they'll make some wrong statement, sometimes you know, there could be the slip of tongue. But, you know, the media will only pick those things and it will bombard with you that to create an image that he is an insane person, isn't it? But if Mr. Modi talks anything, oh, it is a patriotism, isn't it? So it's about, see, the image we know about any particular person, it is more a creation of the media than reality, isn't it? So we actually don't know. As a people, see, you don't know who is Rahul Gandhi because you do not have the personal touch. You don't know how Mr. Modi is, you don't have the personal touch, but how the media is showing, that is how we get to know about those person, isn't it? So somebody with a very high, who is paying really well, the media will listen to them and they'll try to project you in that manner or project your opponent in a diminished manner, isn't it or not? So social media, what are social media? YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all these are what? Social media or not? So they are not the true depiction of the things. They are not the true depiction of the thing. Social media definitely, it ensures instant access to informations. So, but in these two, if you compare, social media are not ideal or moral institution, but the products built by the companies to make profits. So what will be the best if you have to choose? I know this is little, you know, question number 11, na? 13, sorry, question number 13. So even I had marked it wrong. I marked it C, but answer is B. Even I thought the social media have been created to strengthen democracy, but actually the answer is B. Okay, so social media are not ideal or moral institution, but the products built by the companies to make profits. It can be in terms of monetary profits or in terms of generating good images about them, isn't it? You can buy social media, and social media will only talk about you, positive about you. Even in YouTube, you know, the movie reviews, that can be bought. Very few they'll give you the honest review. You'll feel, oh, this person is so highly influential, let us pay money and ask a good reviews from that person. So she has, or he has like a lot of followers, whatever she gives review, people will get influenced and go and watch the movie, isn't it? And you want to project somebody in a villain form also, you can buy it. You can buy an influencer who has lot of followers, give them good money, and they will toe your line. Got it? So what is the answer from the passage? Central idea is that social media are not ideal or moral institution. They are not ideal or moral institutions, but the product built by the companies to make profit. So yes, this is bit confusing. Even I marked it wrong, this one. But the answer is, so I hope you are getting the point how you have to basically look at a passage. The next one. Based on the above passage, the following assumption had been made. Internet is not inclusive enough. Number one. Number two statement is internet can adversely affect the quality of politics in a country. What is the answer? What you feel? What is both, na? So I feel both. Let me check. Yes, answer is C. Answer is C. I think this is easy. Yes, this is easy, right? Easy and direct. So answer is C. So there would be some confusing also, but then I think most of the answer you will be able to, most of the question you will be able to answer well. Okay, here 3 answers you have. Read this passage. Read this passage. By the time children reach class 8, the bulk of them tend to be in the age of 13 years or to 15 years. But in our country, about quarter of all children in class 8 struggle with reading simple text. More than half are still unable to do the basic arithmetic operations like division. Every year, about 25 million young boys and girls from elementary school move into the life that lies for them beyond compulsory schooling. They cannot enter the workforce, at least in the organized sector, till they are 18. For many families, these children are the first from their families to get this far in school. Parents and children expect that such graduates from school will go on to high school and college. Hardly anyone wants to go back to agriculture. On the other hand, abilities in terms of academic competencies are far lower than they should be, even based on curricular expectation of class 8. So basically it is talking about what? The quality of education, right? Even if you are in class 8, but many students, they are not able to do the basics of even class 5, isn't it? So this is about talking about the quality of standard of education. So on that basis, based on the above passage, the following assumption have been made. Question number next one is 21, yeah. For effective schooling, for effective school education, parents have a greater role than the government. What do you feel? School curriculum that conforms to today's requirement and is uniform for the entire country may address the issue brought out. Uniform for the entire country may address the issue brought out. Yeah. So this two statement, which of the assumption above is valid? Okay, now you got it. This is the passage, this is the 2 points here, and this is the answer. So what do you feel? Answer is B for Bombay. Huh? D for Delhi. So with a lot of kind of confusion in mind, isn't it? Because most of the passage will be like that. There will be hardly any passage where you will feel, yes, I am very sure short. Because that is what the UPSC, it is ultimately UPSC, isn't it? So they'll check your your knowledge well and your understanding well. So basically, for effective school education, parents have a greater role. That statement is so outrightly incorrect, right? If suppose my parents is not well educated, how can they help me? It is the school who has to help the student, isn't it? They have the role, but greater role they are saying, greater role. So this statement is wrong. Skill curriculum that conforms today requirement and is uniform for the entire country may address the issue brought out. So you see here, what is the point? Uniformity. Otherwise this is an confusing statement. This is a, personally I marked it, basically this one 21 I had marked it, I think I marked it B, but answer is D. Answer is your D. Why it is D? Because of uniform. Otherwise it looks very simple, isn't it? It looks school curriculum that conforms today's requirement. Yes, this should be today's requirement and is uniform for the entire country may address the issue brought out. So if you read it like this, even I marked it, actually I marked it B, but the answer is D. So you see how much concentration and focus is required. Uniform. Why it is wrong? Because it is uniform, and we in India, we are not talking about uniform education. Every state, they can have a different system of education. Even your new education policy, which is uniform, but then still they have given some liberty to the state. They have given liberty to the state. They cannot be, because India is such a huge country that we cannot have one there has to see there is certain things which requires uniformity also, isn't it? You can't, uniform means you can't make Hindi as one language, isn't it? Because Hindi is not the one language. You can't say that no, every school should be English medium, every school should also have Hindi plus English. There should not be any regional medium. Why there should be any regional medium? Can you see like that? No. Yes, science, maths, yes, every school should teach, but you cannot have the entire uniformity throughout the country. Are you getting my point? So only because it has used the word uniformity, that is why it is wrong. Otherwise, yes, it's the school curriculum should conform to this requirement, isn't it? Now AI and all is going on. Yes, people should be trained in AI and all. Otherwise, you will be lagging behind. Internet, it is important that everybody should have the knowledge of internet. Otherwise, again, you will be lagging behind. So in that way, uniformity is good. But if you cannot say the entire curriculum should be uniform, right? So only because of this uniform for the entire country, this is wrong. So the answer is D. So it is little, you have to read it very, very carefully, because even initially I marked B, but the answer is D. Then I checked it, why it is D. So that is why you have to check it, and then you will come to know I have to read it very, very carefully. The next one, which one of the following statement best reflects the passage, the central idea conveyed by the passage? Yes. Total eradication of poverty in the country will resolve the issue of underperformance of our school children. A. B. So first you eliminate all. You eliminate. India is not going to take advantage of demography unless some school pass out, go back to agriculture. This is the not okay. This is not the idea of the passage demographic, that some should go to the agriculture. No, that is not the idea. Total eradication of poverty in the country will resolve the issue of underperformance of our school children. That is also not the central theme. Some people, you see, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, he was poverty ridden, but still because of the support and all, he performed well. There are some really rich people. Are they performing well? No. So, you see, education is not much linked with finances and all. Yes, accessibility, you can say. Somebody having a good resources, they can have accessible to good quality education. So what is the solution? Make the government school free. I mean, government school is anyway free. Make it more qualitative, isn't it? So poverty is not the big factor in providing or having access to quality education. If the government schools are good, it will be good only. So underperformance of our school children, poverty is not the only reason, because many rich people, kids also, they are not performing well. So this statement is also wrong. Now the contest is between B and C. Monetary incentive to parents and teachers is a strategy to improve the children's academic. Anyway, it is not showing like that, right? Monetary to parents, huh? To parents, yeah. Teachers, okay, fine, we should give some incentive, but why to parents? Suppose they are rich people, still you give incentives? No. And even if they are not rich, see, they have to earn, that is different thing. Government cannot give ki nahi, you have to train your, it is the teacher who is still training, not the parents, right? So this is also not. So public policy should ensure that competency and achievement of young people are aligned with their expectation. It is because it is talking about the entirely what? Public policy basically. Isn't it? That public policy should be good, which are giving importance to school education and providing quality education to the children, so that their expectations aligned with their expectations. Because see, I'm getting educated and I don't want to go back to agriculture, I want to have some job. So proper skills should be provided to me, isn't it? Because after graduating and all, what we don't want to go back to agriculture, we want to have some good quality job. So it should be aligned with their expectations. So public policy should be set. So what is the answer? C. So anyway, public policy wala kind of thing is there. So obviously, वैसे also, otherwise also, this is all the failure of public policy. This is because of the failure of the public policy. If students of class 8, they are not able to solve class 5 sums, or class 3, they can't even read it properly, it is failure of government policy, right? Why are they getting promoted? Number one, why are they getting promoted? Means the assessment system is not good. I hope you got the clarity. Now read this passage. Read it. Hey, 23 we have done or not? This was 22. Okay, okay, after this we will do 23. ठीक है. Okay, fine. So you have read till here. We take it for granted now that science has a social responsibility. The idea would not have occurred to Newton or Galileo. They thought of science as an account of world as it is, and the only responsibility that they acknowledged was to tell the truth. The idea that science is a social enterprise is modern, and it begins at the Industrial Revolution. We are surprised that we cannot trace a social sense further back because we nurse the illusion that Industrial Revolution ended a golden age. Okay, I mean, you would have understood, you would not have understood, I know, but let's see the question. You will get the focus. By looking at the question, you will get the focus. Which one of the following statement best reflect the thinking of the author about science? It is saying we take for granted now that science has a social responsibility. The idea would not have occurred to Newton or Galileo. They thought science as an account of world as it is, and the only responsibility that they acknowledged was to tell the truth. ठीक है, science means truth. What is their social accountability on? They did not thought about. Simply, okay, we know this and we wanted to tell this to the world, truth. But what we take it for granted now that science has a social responsibility. The idea would not have occurred to Newton or Galileo. They thought science as an account of world as it is, and the only responsibility to acknowledge was to tell the truth. The idea that science is a social enterprise is modern. Social enterprise means it also has a social obligation. Science has also what? Social obligations. It is a modern and begins with the Industrial Revolution. We are surprised that we cannot trace a social sense during that time, because we nurse the illusion that Industrial Revolution ended a golden age. Industrial Revolution ended a golden age. A lot of kind of khuchur puchur is there. Something I am able to understand, something not. But basically, what is the crux? The crux is that science and social responsibility should go together. Okay. What is the crux? That science and social responsibility should go together. So, which is reflecting that statement? Huh? D. Yes. D. Science must pursue truth but be responsible for social welfare. Science must value the commitment of scientists. No, it is not talking, because it is talking about social enterprise, that science is now a social enterprise. Whatever the discovery is there, it should be beneficial to the public at large. isn't it? So earlier time they were just thinking about the discoveries, how much, whether it is benefiting the people or not benefiting the people. They were not much concerned about that. They were just concerned, okay, this is the new thing that has to be told to the people. Like for example, you know, when nuclear technology, people came to know about the nuclear fusion and fission, all this thing. Did they think about what impact it will have on people? They should not have shared the technology of nuclear bomb. Why it is required nuclear bomb? Why it is required? They should have shared only the nuclear technology related to reactor, to what? For harnessing energy. Harnessing energy, not to make it bomb. Because you same uranium can be used for nuclear energy. If you enrich it further, it becomes bombs. So that is what the technology should come with social purpose. And that is what it didn't happen, and that is why so much of destructions we are seeing. The way America, my God, it's behaving as if that is what it is making the unipolar world again. From the multipolar world, it is again becoming unipolar world, the way we are witnessing now. And unipolar world is never good. And that time also, when America bombed Hiroshima with nuclear bomb, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was also fully unilateralism. And now also they are doing. So you see, the jungle Raj is still there. The jungle Raj, we said that jungle Raj is not there. Jungle Raj is still there. Whosoever is mighty, they are ruling the world as per their whims and fancies. Isn't it or not? So jungle Raj is still there. Whosoever is mighty, they are misusing the power. And there is nobody is daring to stop that person. Nobody is daring to stop that person. Stop that country. As if, you know, they are the one who are the protector of the world. They are behaving as if what? We are the protector of the world. Wherever things are going bad, we will go and make it correct. They are behaving like that. That we are the ruler of the world, and the entire universe will be ruling as we fit what is correct. As whatever the America feel is correct, that is correct for the entire world. I think the American people also, their mind is also insane. You know, why they choose such kind of a person? That is what even democracy can be flawed. That is what it is. It is showing. Even democracy can be flawed. It is in a way dictatorship, right? Elected dictatorship. And the problems goes with ultimately the people. If the people do not choose in a correct manner, this is how the destructions will happen. So the blame should be for the American people, not alone Donald Trump. The American people are like that only. They want domination over the entire world. So that's why they are choosing such kind of a person to head, who will allow Americans to dominate the whole world. When George Bush bombarded Iraq, again he was chosen back. Everybody criticized him. But the American people again brought him to the power. So it is the people, they feel that, you know, we as an American want to dominate the whole world. So they'll bring such kind of person to power. They'll support such kind of person. Okay, fine. So I think you got it. See, the questions can be a bit confused. I am telling you, it is not that easy. But what does it reflect? The crux that science must pursue truth, but also should be responsible for social welfare. So answer is your D. These all are okay. Industrial revolution has made possible by the advancement in science, looks correct. Science is a product of civilized society, must be used for the promotion of scientific awareness. See, all these statement looks correct. All the statement, no statement is wrong. But as per the passage, what is the central idea? Are you getting my point? That is what you have to choose. No statement is wrong. But what is as per the passage the most appropriate or reflecting the central idea? (23) answer D. Read here. Read. One, 2 minutes I will give you. Okay, look at the question. The history of science is the real history. In this striking epigram, a 19th century writer links science with its background. Like most epigrams, its power lies in emphasizing by contrast an aspect of truth which may be easily overlooked. In this case, it is easy to overlook the relationship between science and mankind and treat the former as some abstract third party which can sometimes be praised for beneficial influences but frequently and conveniently blamed for the horrors of wars. Science and mankind cannot be divorced from time to time at means convenience. Yet we have seen that in spite of countless opportunities of improvement, the opening years of the present period of civilization have been dominated by international conflict. Is this the inevitable result of the progress of science or does the fault lies elsewhere? So basically, scientific discoveries and conflict, that is what it is talking about. Now, what is the answer? Which of the following is are emphatically conveyed by the author of the passage? Without science, mankind could not have continued to exist till today. It is the science that will ultimately determine the destiny of mankind. What do you feel? Both wrong. 31. Yes, D or B? B for Bombay. What is the answer? 31, right? 31 answer is so the first statement is the wrong. First statement is so wrong. It is the science that will ultimately determine the destiny of mankind. And here ultimately, you see it, why it is giving importance to science. But here you have seen in this case, science and mankind cannot be divorced from time to time at man's convenience. Means both they are required, science and mankind, they are both related with each other. They cannot be divorced. Sometimes, we allow science to dominate over us. And in this question, what it is saying, it is the science that will ultimately determine the destiny of the mankind. Means you are giving more importance to science. So that statement is correct or not? Wrong. Isn't it? The first statement we have seen the wrong. First statement is wrong. Without science, mankind could not have continued to exist. See, without science also, many people, they continued for long period of time. Isn't it? Even without science, the jungle is still existing or not? Without science, the jungle, natural life, still it is existing, they are existing. So people would have also existed. It's not that they have not existed. Maybe this much of things would not have been there. But still ancient period also people existed and all. But the second statement, you see, it is the science that will ultimately determine the destiny of mankind. It looks like that it is giving mankind a lower position, science at a higher position. So that's why it is wrong. Are you getting my point? So answer is your, why it is wrong? You got the point, I guess. D. Because it is saying it is science which will ultimately, why science will determine? Mankind will determine their destiny, not science. Mankind will determine their own destiny, not science will determine. We will determine that science will how much progress. Isn't it or not? After all, science is the creation of the mankind. Mankind is not the creation of science. Isn't it or not? So that's why both the statement is wrong. Answer is D. So that's why you have to read very, very carefully. Very, very carefully. Without mankind, without science, mankind could not have existed till now. That is statement is wrong. Without science also we were existing. Number one. Number second, it is saying that it is the science that will ultimately determine the destiny of mankind. That looks very negative statement about a mankind. Okay. So both the statement is wrong. Answer is D. So how, I hope you are getting the point that how things are, the things are not very, very easy as well. But if you practice well, you will get it more number of question correct. Based on the above assumption, see the statement, the horrors of modern life are inevitable result of the progress of science. Number one. Second, the aspect of truth. Assumption, look at the things, what assumption it is made. The aspect of truth likely to be overlooked is that science is what man has made it. According to you, what is the answer? One only. One only to not. One only, two only, both. See, the horrors of modern life are inevitable results of the progress of science. It is a very negative statement. Science is not bringing the horrors. What it is saying, inevitable means what? That cannot be stopped. Inevitable means what? That cannot be stopped. The horrors of modern life are the inevitable result of the progress of science. It is not the progress of science, it is the regression of science or misuse of science. It is the misuse of science. See, progress, science always go for a good thing only, isn't it? It's all depend on us how we are using. If we are misutilizing, there will be the war. If we are not misutilizing, it will be peace. So science is not bringing the horrors of war. We are misusing the scientific advancement for wars. More nowadays, drone wars, robotic wars, what is all? We are misusing that science. So it is not per se the progress of science, but it is the misuse of science that is leading to destructions. So the first statement is wrong. The horror of modern life are inevitable result of the progress of science. No, it is not the progress, it is the misuse of science. The aspect of truth likely to be overlooked is that science is what man has made it. So yeah, if we use it, it is good purpose. If we misuse it, it is for the bad purpose. So it is ultimately the man who has to use the science in whatever way they want it. They want it for the peace purpose, or they want it for the war purpose or destructive purpose. It is up to the man. So the first statement is wrong, but the second statement is correct or not? Are you getting my point? Why it is correct? The aspect of truth likely to be overlooked. That is what it is saying, which may be easily overlooked. Is that science is what man has made it. So you see, little good English is also required. As I keep on telling, your English has to be really good to understand the crux, the meaning. So answer is your B for Bombay. So read it very, very carefully. Things are not very easy. Comprehension and passage is not very, very easy. That is why many people, they fail in CSAT. Neither they are able to do the maths part, nor the comprehension passage part. LR, I don't know, again depends on how well you are able to logically think. If you are able to think well, you will do the LR well. Otherwise, there also you will miss out. So this is what CSAT paper is checking your aptitude. It is really more, it checks your intellectual skill. You cannot, that is why more people are failing in CSAT. You can see how much analysis is required. Don't over analyze, don't under analyze, but then you should able to analyze, isn't it? So it actually is checking your intellectual capacity. GS is not that what you are checking the intellectual. I'm not saying the GS question is not checking. Even GS question, there are a lot of question which is based on analysis, but CSAT is purely, it is checking your intellectual capacity. Because first of all, many people, the kind of English it is, they'll not understand the English only. That is the problem. They'll try to read every word. Every word is not required. What is the underlying tone, underlying theme of the passage? That is what is required to understand. See the next passage. Only with the long experience and opening of his wares on many a beach where his language is not spoken, the merchant come to know the worth of what he carries, and what is parochial and what is universal in his choice. Such delicate goods such as justice, love, honor, courtesy, and indeed all things we care for are valid everywhere, but they are variously molded and often differently handled, and sometimes nearly unrecognizable if you meet them in a foreign land. And the art of learning fundamental common values is perhaps the greatest gain of travel to those who wish to live at ease among their fellows. So what is the crux? What is the passage is trying to convey? Huh? Aim. They are talking about common values, and that you come to know through travel. When you travel, like I was in Delhi and now I'm in Bangalore. I've traveled also to many part of India. So that is what I have realized certain thing, that there are certain common values. Everybody like respect, everybody likes to be treated fairly or not. Everybody, wherever you go, everybody would like to be treated fairly, with respect, with love, with kindness. These are the common values. And that you gain through the travel much more, right? And that will help you to live with a ease among the fellow beings. Now look at what it is trying to say, questions, what they are trying to ask in the question. When we meet other people while we travel, we learn to differentiate between dash, imagination and understanding, communities and nationalities, local values and universal values, friends and foes. I think very simple this question is. What is the answer? It is the question number 33. C. Easy. Local values and universal values. I think simple, easy. (34). With reference to the above passage, the following assumption can be made. Travel leads to an understanding of humans. Number 1. Number 2. Travel helps those who wish to learn fundamental common values. Third statement. A person with long experience in travel can resolve differences amongst people. What is the answer? Yes, Bhavna, tell me. As per you, what do you feel? Oh, give it a minute. Yeah, three, right? I have given you the time. Come by 3. Yes. Yes, tell me what is the answer. फटाफट बोलो यार, it doesn't have time. Answer is A. Correct? Or anybody differ? Some other. Bhavna, as per you, what is the answer? B? D. As per you, D. See why this statement is wrong, because, and why this, D is not the correct and A is correct, because you see this. Yes, travel leads to understanding, that we have seen. Travel help us those who wish to learn fundamental common values also. Well, because I traveled to so many parts, I understood there are certain common values, right? So both the statement is correct. Third, why it is wrong? A person with long experience of travel can resolve differences amongst people. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. That helps me to know the common differences, okay, and also common values. But I am not in a position to resolve your differences. I may not. But the statement is saying the person with long experience in travel can resolve the differences among people. Not necessarily. That can be useful for me, but that might not help me to become an arbitrator, isn't it? And probably I might not be in a position to arbitrate, right? Become a mediator. So that is not in the passage. Also they had not mentioned that they can help the differences. We can learn common values for ourselves, for enriching our own life. Are you getting the point? So that is what the person with long experience in travel can resolve differences amongst people. Nowhere it is written in the passage. So I am telling you, very little will make the mistakes. And I know it is very confusing. It is not easy. Comprehension passage is actually not easy. But then with regular practice. Now you start analyzing. Why did I mark D? Why is the answer A? That is where you have to analyze and work. And with constant practice, you will be able to solve more and more. This one, okay, fine. Next is maths also. You please see, at least those who are good at maths, but person like me who is not, much at maths, for them, comprehension passage, they have to do it really well. So look at this passage. Conventional classroom by emphasizing fixed duration over learning effectiveness. Resign themselves to various outcomes. The tyranny of classroom is that every learner is subjected to the same set of lectures in the same way for the same duration. In the end, a few learners shines and some survive and the rest are left behind. After the fixed duration, the classroom model moves on, and not a thought spared for those who are left behind. This is how we end up with 10% employability in our graduates after a decade and half of formal education. Repeating the same ineffectual script in the realm of skill education will not produce different result. What is the meaning of this, the crux of the passage? What is the crux? You have to understand the crux of the passage. That everybody is not same. There are some people, they will learn fast, some they will learn late. But school is what? Meant for those people who learn fast. Isn't it? Not for everyone. So what is which one of the following statements best reflects the most logical, rational inferences that can be made from the passage? It is, I think, how much it is? Okay, this two statement. In conventional classroom learning, the central goal is duration of learning rather than attainment of competency. The second is conventional classroom encourage one size fits all approach and stamp out all differences. What is the answer? Are you able to read or not, Saranya? So these are the two statements. You see, the conventional classroom learning, the central goal is duration of learning rather than attainment of competency. Number one. Second is conventional classroom encourage one size fits all approach and stamp out all differentiation. What is the answer? I think this is an easy one. The conventional classroom learning, the central goal is duration of the learning rather than attainment of competency. True, that is what we have seen, right? 1 year to 1 year, isn't it? 1 year class 4, next year class 5 you go, next year class 6. Whether you are attaining the competency or not, we are not bothered, right? Conventional classroom is what? One size fits all approach, hai ki nahi? Both the statement is correct, simple. I think this is simple. This one I will put it in a very simple one. We should make it correct. So answer is your C. Look at the next one. Look at the next one. Answer is C. I hope you got to know why it is C. Okay. 42. Based on the above passage, what assumption have been made? As a large number of workers in a country, okay, this is the same one. This is Acha, acha, yeah, it deals with that only. A large number of workers in our country are employed in unorganized sector. India does not need to change its present conventional classroom system of education. Even with its present conventional classroom system of education, India produces sufficient number of skilled workers to fully realize the benefit of demographic difference. What is the answer? I think that is again a very easy one. Tejas, you are not able to understand? Okay, so you may require little more time, no problem. That is what we are talking here. The class goes with, little fast. They have to cope up with the fast. Particularly, when you are preparing for competitive examination, you have to be fast and you have to train to be fast. You have to train yourself, right? For schools, when they are small students, we have to train them. A teacher has to train them. But when you reach to a level where you are preparing for a competitive examination, of course the teacher will help you, but then you also have to help yourself. Okay, you have to study hard, you have to practice more. Here also you see, some they will be brilliant, they will understand very fast, and some they will take little more time to understand, because again, the how you train your mind. Mind is also, training, just like you train your muscles, same way you have to train your mind. Okay, so you should know how to train it, and you should make effort to train it. So the answer is D. D. Answer is D. I think this is simple. Large number of workers in a country are employed in the unorganized sector. India does not need. India need it, right? So that's why this statement is wrong. Even with the present conventional classroom education, India produces sufficient number skilled. No, absolutely no. We are not able to produce. Only 10% it shows, employability or so. So the answer is D. So you have to understand what the crux of the passage. And this one, I'll put it in the easy category. This passage was easy. Now look at this one, the next passage. When a child reaches adolescence, there is apt to be conflict between the parents and the child. Since the latter considered himself to be by now quite capable of managing his own affairs, while the former are filled with parental solicitude, which is often a disguise for love of power. Parents consider usually that the various moral problems which arises in adolescence are peculiarly their province. The options they express, however, are so dogmatic that the young seldom confide in them and usually go their own way in secret. So this is about what? Adolescent period, when there is a conflict with the parents, and sometimes the parents, they are not able to adopt a proper strategy. So now on the passage, what assumptions have been made? The adolescent does not feel comfortable with his parents because they tend to be dominating and assertive. The adolescent of modern time does not have much respect for parents. What is the answer? I think again, I feel it is a bit simple. Yes, according to you guys, Bhavana and Sandhya, D for Delhi. There you won't get time to discuss, okay? Neither the opportunity and time. Even you are back to back. Individually, you should individually understand, not discuss. Answer is does not feel comfortable with his parents because they tend to be dominative and assertive. That's what we have come to know from the passage, right? The adolescent of modern times does not have much respect for parents. That is not there in that. Whether the differences are there. Differences are there between parents and child. But that doesn't mean they don't respect. They may not accept what the parents is saying, but doesn't mean that they are disrespectful towards their parents. So they start doing in a secret manner, isn't it or not? Because then, oh, my parents will not understand. So they'll start doing in a secret manner. So that is what it is showing. They are not comfortable. So answer is A. Second is wrong. But that is what the assumption. What assumption is making? The adolescent does not feel comfortable with his parents because they tend to be dominating and assertive. I'll show you. Because they don't understand and they live to themselves. You see, what are they? When a child reaches adolescence, there is apt to be conflict between parents and the child. Since the the parents considers himself to be by now quite capable of managing his own affairs, while the former is filled with parental solicitude. Former which? Child. Child is filled with parental solicitude, which is often a disguise for love of power. Parents consider usually that the various moral problems which arises in the adolescence are peculiarly child's province. So that's why there is a misunderstanding, and what they think, it is a love for power. Whatever, if we are dominating over our child, it is what? Love for power. That is what the children believe. So love for power is domination. Isn't it not? The adolescent feel that, our parents, they will not understand, they'll simply dominate over us, they'll feel that, whatever the parent is saying, we have to obey. Isn't it or not? Because they feel that parents are more assertive and dominating. So that's why love for power means dominance. Okay. And that's why they are uncomfortable to share with their parents. The next one, see, which one of the following statement best reflect the central idea of the above passage? Parents in general may not be of much help with the children are on their way to become adults. Number one, when the children reaches adolescence, involvement of parents in their life is unnecessary. Modern day nuclear families are not capable of bringing up child properly. In modern society, adolescents tend to be stubborn, disobedient and careless. What is the theme? Yes, Arvind? What is the answer first? A or B? Or D? Answer is A. Very simple. You see, when children reaches adolescent, involvement of parents like unnecessary, ये तो incorrect है, that is very strong statement. No, it cannot be. Modern day nuclear families, it is not talked about nuclear family. In modern society, adolescents tend to be stubborn. That is also the passage is not talking about. The passage talking what? Parents in general may not be of much help when the children are on their way to become adults, because they will go through so much of hormonal changes, mood swings, and the parents may not, they will help, but so much they cannot help, isn't it? They can only console them, but whatever the issues and problems they are going on, parents cannot do all. isn't it? Because there will be a lot of hormonal changes. Adolescence period is a very, very, you can say, turbulent phase, ups and down, because of the hormonal changes. Mood swings will be there, then irritability will be there, lot of new changes will come in their mind and body. So because of that, the parents, they can only console them, but they cannot fully cure whatever is going in their mind, isn't it or not? Hormonal, how can you balance? Parents cannot balance that. They have to balance, isn't it? We have to be do it ourselves. We have to keep ourselves, in control. The parents can only help you to some extent. So that's why parents in general may not be of much help. They are not saying not at all help, much help. So answer is A. Simple. I think that was pretty simple. I personally felt this topic was pretty simple. So, that's all for today. We have some more. So 2024 at least we'll solve the entire passage. Okay. So you will get an idea. I personally have solved till now 26. Out of that I have got 22. So 4 I made it wrong. So you also check your own how assessment, do the assessment, how you are making correct. And then see, that is how, it's okay to make mistake, but it is not okay to make same kind of mistake again and again. It is absolutely okay, and all the mistake, that is what my point is, to train you guys here, so that you don't make mistake there. And emphasizing on previous year paper, work on the previous year paper. Personally speaking, I always say nothing else is required. You work on the PYQ, work on, you'll understand. Basically, it is all about, understanding. If you understand what is the demand, you will be able to solve it. All the best. So we'll meet tomorrow. We'll continue with this, and tomorrow